Welcome to The Wall. Today we bring you a woman who now says, marry the nerd, after having let the bully do whatever he wanted with her. Before we begin, give us a like to help us keep growing. Let's get started.
You know, back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd!
I imagine your husband must be absolutely thrilled to hear that you didn't choose him out of desire, but for stability. In other words, while you were having fun with the Chads, you eventually married the man who could give you security, a family, and a good life. And that's exactly what many men have been saying for years, that for many women, the nerd or the serious guy isn't the one they truly desire first, but the dependable provider they choose once they're ready for structure.
No one is saying being a nerd is negative or marrying the nerd is bad advice. No one is saying that. The problem is when women say marry the nerd, they also add something else onto it. They say marry the nerd, have fun with the dope boys, the athletes, this, that, and the third. And then once you're done having your fun, marry the guy that's going to give you this great life. That's not cool. That's like a diss to your boyfriend, husband, whatever. Like, I'm not sure why people can never see the problem with that, but it's a problem. Like, y'all could easily just say, marry the nerd because of X, Y, and Z, and then list off the redeeming qualities that he has. Marry the nerd because he's nice. Marry the nerd because he's ambitious. You know, say something like that. Don't say marry the nerd and, you know, sleep with dirty niggas in your youth. You know what I mean? And then don't get on the internet and be in the comments talking about how the sex was so fun with the dirty niggas. You know what I mean? Like, no self-respecting man is going to be okay with his woman talking in public or hell, even in private with him. No self-respecting man wants to know about a woman's past relationships, past situationships, past fuck buddies. You know what I mean? Like, no self-respecting man is okay with that. Especially not on TikTok for the whole world to see. But yeah, nobody had a problem with saying marry the nerd, or nobody thinks being a nerd is negative. Like, nobody at all.
Oh, hell no!
Exactly. You're sitting in the life that man built for you. And instead of lifting him up, you made it clear you chose him for what he could provide. That's not a compliment. That's disrespect. Because in the end, it sounds no different than a man saying he chose you just for your looks and because you weren't good for anything else. No self-respecting man wants to hear that he was the retirement plan after you had your fun with other men.
Here's the thing about D.L. Hughley's daughter talking about marry the nerd. Girl. And I only come on here talking about what I know, okay? And as a certified blurred magnet, like black nerds love me. It's really the big titties. That's what it is. Anyways, I know what point she was trying to make. I don't think you should have made that point at the expense of your husband. Like, how's that man supposed to feel? But I understand what she's trying to say. But what I'm saying is, girl, the nerds is where it's at. The nerds is where it's at. The nerds are formidable as partners, okay? Like, when you're not dealing with one who has like resentment from like middle school, they are formidable. Like, some of the sweetest, most romantic men. I gotta unearth some of these love letters that I have, but like, so sweet, so romantic, so thoughtful. They're really good with attention to detail. The dick is phenomenal. Girl, you won. You won. Just be happy that you won. And I wish it didn't take all of those older experiences for you to arrive at that conclusion.
You see, it wasn't that hard to deliver a solid message without putting your man down. All you had to say was that you're attracted to intelligent, focused, disciplined men. The kind who start building their lives early while others are lost in vices, the streets, and chasing women. That kind of man puts in the work, studies, sacrifices, and becomes a doctor, and by the time he gets there, he has plenty of options. That's why the mistake was a big one. Instead of lifting him up, she made him sound like a consolation prize. But she tried to fix it in another video.
A couple of days ago, I accidentally went viral for a video I did last week telling women to marry a nerd. I also made the cardinal mistake of admitting to having sex before I met my husband.
I'm guilty of the exact same thing their mother is, having sex. I'm not guilty of having sex with a dumbass. That's true, but still. In my video, all I was trying to do was tell women to not have sex with the type of men who produced the dudes in my comments.
And men from all across the internet are making think pieces about it.
You know, I'm a slut, I'm a skank, I got trains run on me, my husband was my last option, I settled, he settled, may this love never find me, that kind of thing. And before I met my husband, I used to eat men like that, like the ones in my comments, alive for funsies. And I know the joke, oh, you used to swallow dick to oh, God, make better jokes. You guys have been telling the same fucking jokes since like the Salem witch trial. Like, you know in The Wizard of Oz when the lion tries to scare Dorothy and she like goes like, what the fuck are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm actually like, I just need some courage. Like a lot of you are just trying to figure out how to be a man. And that's how it comes through. Like, you're really that mad that you took time out from your job at Publix to do a 45-second think piece on a married woman talking to other women? I don't see the masculinity in it. A lot of you glitch when you hear that a woman has had sex before she met you because you know that you could never measure up in real life. All that practice you've had in your room in the dark with the flashlight, you know the thing with the vagina on the end, but it looks like a nightlight. You already know that you would never measure up in real life, and a woman who has had sex with a human would know that, which is why a woman having sex before she met you scares the shit out of you because you know you're cooked. I saw this study the other day that said 50% of you have never even asked a woman out in real life. Guys, 50% of you have never even grown the cajones it requires to walk your little ass across the street and ask a woman you think is attractive for her number. And you're in my comments trying to flame me for dating 10 years ago?
Stop it. Get some help.
No one is criticizing you for sleeping with every Chad that crossed your path. It's about the way you talk about the man who gave you a decent life. And here's another detail. No one needs to know about your past because you end up embarrassing your man. On top of that, you made him look bad by implying that out of all the others who never offered you a ring or a stable life, you only chose him because he's a provider, when in reality, he's the best thing that ever happened to you. Let's continue.
Baby, it's giving you're a virgin who can't drive. I use the euphemism, look it up, of dirty socks to talk to women who is my main target about dating the type of men that ultimately don't align with you long term. Now, the men I dated were in like law school, med school, like, you know, working at Goldman Sachs and stuff like that. So like, it was a euphemism. I wasn't actually talking about like you, like, no. Y'all are the same dudes talking about Russell Wilson's so gay. Can you imagine stepping up and like raising a child that wasn't yours? Before your shift at the Piggly Wiggly. The audacity. The same men who tell women who have had children that they're run through. Like your mom was. Like, the misogyny is never gonna fly for me. I'm entirely too smart. And frankly speaking, I blame my father. I have entirely too much money at my disposal to give a shit. The amount of you that look like demigorgons, like true demigorgons, telling women that they are passed around. Sorry, hold on. The married women in my comments are like, yeah, I love my IT nerd. I love my software engineer. I love my neurosurgeon. And you guys heard nerd and heard what exactly? A nerd, here, I'll put the definition here. You can find definitions of all kinds in a dictionary. It's a book that has words in it. We'll talk about it later. A nerd is just somebody who's really smart. I just told women to marry smart men. That's it. I married a smart guy. I didn't marry a smart guy because I trapped him. I married a smart guy because we were both at the same grad school. And we ran into each other. That's probably why I don't run into you. Do you know the kind of man it takes to deal with me every day? My mouth?
I married the only man I ever met I didn't want to eviscerate. I married the only man I ever met I didn't want to flame and break apart because I could. But you make it easy. And I look at your comments and you guys basically circle jerking each other. And all that comes through to me is how weak, how unoriginal, and how small you are. I think a lot of you have a humiliation kink, and I didn't go to school for that, but I'm a fast study. If you would like me to continue to humiliate you, you're going to have to pay me for it, though. So I'll send my Venmo and my Cash App and my PayPal, and you can send me money, and we can do this offline.
Word nerd has never been a pure compliment. It's always carried a tone of mockery, and trying to dress it up now doesn't fix anything. On top of that, your husband having a degree doesn't automatically place him above other men. There are guys without a lab coat or diploma who have more life experience, stronger character, and even more money than many doctors. And to make matters worse, in trying to defend him, you only made it worse. You made it clear that the other men from your past were in that same league or close to his circle, but none of them gave you a ring. Only him. That doesn't make him look like the chosen one, but like the one who ended up with the serious role after others had their fun. If I were you, I would have stayed quiet.
Marry the handy guy. I'm not saying marry for money. I'm saying marry for maintenance. You know what's sexy? A man who owns tools. Plural. This is the hack to success in this economy. Want financial security? Marry a man with a toolbox and the will to figure it out. Something breaks in the house, other people are calling a guy. My husband is the guy. Yes, it might take 3 weekends. Yes, there will be cursing. But every curse word is him saying, we are not paying somebody 2026 prices to fix this shit. He knows his way around Home Depot so well that people are stopping him and asking him for project advice. Flowers die, but a man who can fix the garbage disposal? That's forever. Forget crypto, forget side hustles. Get yourself a man with the natural ability to fix things. So marry the handy guy, because when the world is falling apart, he'll be standing in his garage with a drill, a YouTube tutorial, and street cred at Home Depot.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
See, it wasn't that hard. That's how you speak well of a man, by highlighting what he brings, what he handles, and the real value he has, without putting him down just to sound clever. Congratulations to that man, because at least he has a woman who truly knows how to recognize his worth.
Tell me how you know your boyfriend won't cheat on you without telling me how you know your boyfriend won't cheat on you. I'll go first.
I love marrying a nerd because I don't even have to be worried about them at their bachelor party. Listen to what their bachelor party is, okay? My partner has hired a castle where they're having all of their groomsmen play Dungeons and Dragons in the basement of this castle, and their outfit is a custom-made robe that they're going to be sitting in these robes in a castle all weekend playing Dungeons and Dragons. I even offered, like, you could have like a D&D themed stripper, and they were like, nope, it's going to distract from the story.
These are men with hobbies, which I think is perfectly fine. And games like Dungeons and Dragons or chess are mentally stimulating, because you have to think strategically in order to win. Now, a piece of advice for men who are into those kinds of things. That's fine, but do not become the kind of guy who gives off the impression that you are never a threat, because that sends the message that, as a man, she can do whatever she wants with you because you will not have options. On top of that, I find that a woman tends to put in less effort with the man who never seems like a real threat, the one she does not fear losing. Leadership also tends to fade, and the woman may start disrespecting you because she sees herself as the goddess in your life. Being intelligent and having hobbies does not mean you should neglect yourself as a man. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, these questions are for you. What do you think about a woman who recommends marrying a nerd after speaking about her past like that? Do you think she chose that man out of genuine love or for the life he could provide? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.